Hello, today I want to give you a radiologist perspective on fatty liver and visceral fat and what to do about it, and my 12 reasons for you to try a carnivore diet. So here's a normal liver. You can see the Hounsfield units on it, 67, 64. So above 40 is considered normal, below 40 is considered fatty liver. We can see in this example here, it's 7, 13, the liver is darker, more like the fat. This is all visceral fat, this is subcutaneous fat. The fat's all black on the CT. So this liver is very fatty, and that's caused by excess sugar, excess fructose mainly, that can only be processed by the liver and then turned into fat. And when you have too much, it's stored in the liver and in your viscera. Here's an example of someone with excessive visceral fat, all this black in between the bowel and organs. And here's a person that has very minimal visceral fat. There's barely any. This is what a healthy, metabolically healthy person should look like. Now, my 12 reasons, I sent this to my family. I want to share with you all my 12 reasons to go carnivore. And just to give you a perspective, when I first heard about carnivore, I said that's dumb, that's crazy. That I know how to eat. I'm eating salads every day with lean meat. I'm doing great. Well, I wasn't doing great, and I didn't realize how ungreat I was doing until I went carnivore. Now, I was always a yo-yo dieter. The heaviest I got was 220. I was able to go 3-4 hours of cardio a day, eat salads every day for 2 months, lose 20-30 pounds, get down to 180, 190, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, now I've gone 2 months without carbs. I had some dumb notion that I needed carbs, so I would reintroduce it, and then I would gain the weight all back, and then something would come up. I want to go to a wedding, want to do something, want to look good for something, and so I yo-yo diet again. I'd go eating salads, extreme calorie deficits, extreme exercise, eat less, move more, to the extreme, and I would drop down. I could never get below about 175. For 20 years I've done this. Once or twice a year I'd lose 20-30 pounds, gain it all back, and 175 was like a hard line in the sand. I could never do it. So what changed when I went carnivore? I was satiated for the first time in my life. I wasn't starving myself. I would eat and then just be full. I wouldn't have to eat breakfast or lunch. I started eating 1 meal a day, and I was eating more calories than I was on the restricted diet, and I lost weight, and I got down to 155, shattered through any lines in the sand, and 9% body fat, and doing great. But the 12 reasons I gave my family was, number one, red meat has been demonized by the sugar industry, religious propaganda, ideology, and theology. Avoiding red meat causes, and then eating sugar, this is what you get. You get all this visceral fat. Number two, red meat's the only true superfood. It has every essential vitamin, micronutrient, amino acid, and fatty acid. As long as you're not poisoning yourself with anti-nutrients, with plants and carbs, you get everything you need from meat. And then number three, the big thing everyone's scared about, dietary cholesterol being bad for you. That's been debunked, but that info is being suppressed. The American Heart Association in 2019 changed their guidelines quietly. No press release, no nothing. They just said, well, we used to think dietary cholesterol was bad, but now all the evidence shows that it has no effect on your blood cholesterol. In 2019, no press release, nothing. Hey, sorry, we've been wrong for 70 years. You'd think that'd make headlines. Nothing. Most doctors don't know about this. Most people don't know about this. They still think dietary cholesterol is bad for you. But then studies show that people with the highest cholesterol live the longest, and that cholesterol was just a scapegoat for the sugar industry. And then saturated fat, the American College of Cardiology found that there was no correlation with heart disease, and it was actually protective against stroke. And then people who lower their cholesterol with statins end up getting dementia, diabetes, and increased coronary calcium. But it lowers LDL, which makes no sense because high LDL is not really a risk factor. Their association studies showed maybe a 30% increase association, which is not risk but association. But then you're giving someone a statin that causes diabetes, which increases your chance of metabolic syndrome, heart disease, stroke by tenfold for a 0.3% reduction. It makes no sense. Number 4, vegetable seed oils are they have toxic carcinogens, cause oxidation, chronic inflammation, and we are animals. We need animal fat, not plant fat. Number 5, plants and fiber have anti-nutrients and cause inflammation. These prevent vitamin absorption and can cause deficiencies. Fiber, which people think is good for constipation, actually causes constipation in actual human studies. So if it doesn't fall, there are theories that increased fiber, you're going to prevent constipation. But when it doesn't actually work in actual human randomized controlled trial, then it's not true. And then it's also, fiber has been recommended as a very weak antidote for the sugar poisons people are consuming. Just don't consume the poison. Don't consume the sugar. Now, and then also any vitamins or nutrients in plants are not very bioavailable. Everything you need is in meat, and it's bioavailable. Number 6, sugar. It's an addictive drug, and really, it's not an essential nutrient. You don't ever have to consume any sugar ever. Your body makes any sugar you need. Only 5 grams of glucose in your entire blood supply. Any more is toxic, which glycates your tissues, your blood vessels, your joints. It causes joint pain, inflammation, arthritis, causes brain fog, dependency. You get highs and lows. It's toxic to the body. That's why as soon as you consume it, it tries to store it in your muscles and tries to use it up because it has to regulate how much is in your blood supply because it's toxic at higher levels. Your body knows exactly how much glucose it needs, and the liver will make exactly the amount that you need. Number 7, the brain works better on ketones. You have better mood, better energy. Ketogenic diets are being used to treat bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety. I mean, this is a paradigm shift. It's like how are people still thinking they need carbs and that cholesterol is bad? Everyone's still stuck in the matrix. We need to get out of the matrix. If you want, this is your choice, but I'm giving you my honest opinion after looking into this. And then, so the brain works better on ketones, but also the heart. The heart works more efficiently on ketones. All right, number 8, high fat, low carb diet actually has been shown anecdotally, but with the lean mass hyperresponders study coming out this summer, we may see like actual data on this, but it seems to reverse atherosclerosis and opens up arteries. Okay, and then also boosts the immune system. LDL, the other good cholesterol, is essential for fighting infections. And then people with the LDLs in the 400s have been shown to have as much or even less coronary plaque than people with normal LDLs. All right, number 9, salt is essential and does not cause high blood pressure. This is a huge myth. You can read the book, The Salt Fix. But sugar and high insulin causes sodium and water retention and causes high blood pressure. So when you go on a carnivore diet, you need to increase your salt, at least 5 grams of salt a day, which is 2,000 milligrams of sodium. or else you're going to get weak and feel lightheaded and have no energy. All right, number 10. Carnivore diet will increase your muscle mass, bone density, and increase your metabolic rate and regulate your hormones. For women, it regulates their hormones. Women without periods get their periods back. In men, it doubles their testosterone. Meat heals, and then it reverses heartburn, sleep apnea, autoimmune conditions, diabetes, prevents cancer. It's even used in some countries to treat cancer. Ketogenic diets have been used to treat cancer, put it in remission, because cancer thrives off sugar. You cannot use ketones. If you lower your sugar, it's very metabolically active cells. It needs a high amount of sugar. If you lower your sugar, you're basically starving the cancer, and then you're also making chemotherapy radiation more effective. But it's not part of the standard of care, and it should be. All right. Carnivore diet will also prevent dementia, which is type 3 diabetes. And then saturated fat, as I said, was found to be protective against stroke. And this way of eating is just basically prevents most modern diseases, which are all food related, from processed food and garbage and junk and sugar and seed oils. All right, number 11. Eat red meat until satiated. You'll never be hungry on a carnivore diet after you break your carb addiction, which can be difficult and can take a few weeks. The way I did it, the first few weeks, I got all my family together and we just ate as much meat as we could until we were stuffed for the first few weeks, until we didn't crave any sugars or sweets. And it's hard the first few weeks, because sugar is an addictive substance and you will have withdrawal. But you have to say, why am I suffering? What am I doing this for? And you can do anything for 30 days. So do it for 30 days, and then see how you feel, and you can stop it after 30 days if it's not helping you. All right, and then number 12. Eating fat does not make you fat. Okay, before this whole cholesterol thing came up, everyone was eating fat, and everyone was skinny, lean, and exercising less than we are today. Nowadays, everyone's avoiding fat, going to the gym, exercising, and getting fat because they're eating carbs. Okay, carbs increase insulin, which is a fat storage hormone, causes fatty liver, fatty pancreas, diabetes, metabolic dysfunction, leading to heart attack, stroke, and cancer. And those are the reasons I gave my family. I got my entire family on carnivore, and I wouldn't have done that unless I believed strongly in the healing effects of carnivore. The examples, the thousands of examples online of people healing their autoimmune conditions, losing weight, getting over the addiction, being healthy. No one can argue that it's not the most appropriate diet for humans when you see the results, when it's the way we've been eating for millions of years. And, opponents of it are either trying to sell you plant-based garbage, Bill Gates and, Beyond Meats and all this crap, or their research and livelihood depend on it, the vegans or the vegan researchers, or the religiously vegan proponents of those diets. And they try to throw some nutritional epidemiology at you, which can only only show association, not causation. And once you're out of the matrix, you see how ridiculous their studies are. Like the Harvard study, it came out a few months ago, that said red meat, our study finds that red meat is associated with diabetes. And they did it with survey data that asks, hey, how many times did you have red meat with your sandwich? Or how many times did you have red meat with your lasagna over the last year? Those were the survey questions. Completely disregarded that they were carbs with every question they asked about red meat, discounted any effect of the carbs and just said, oh, then it's got to be the red meat causing diabetes. Well, they said association, but every single headline said causes. Every news headline picked it up and says, red meat causes diabetes. And then a few weeks later, a study showed that red meat prevents cancer. No headlines, just absolute silence. Once you're out of the matrix and you swallowed the red pill, you can't go back. You can't unsee it. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And I was like you. I thought it was crazy. These people. What is carnivore diet? It sounds like you're eating raw meat and you're crazy and whatever. No, it's eating whole animal products. Whole animal products. The healthiest thing you can eat. We're animals. The healthiest thing we can eat is whole animal products. It's what we've had for millions of years. It's what our body needs to thrive. And it has every nutrient we need. And that's that. Take it or leave it. The choice is yours. But if I can help one person improve their life, get rid of this visceral fat, get rid of the fatty liver, this fatty liver. There's also fatty pancreas. And I'm not saying go out and get a CT, but if you had a CT done in the last few years, you went to the emergency room or got it for some other reason, you can go ask for the images and look at your visceral fat. I wouldn't go out and get a CT because it's radiation, unless you need it for some other reason. But if you've had one, nothing's stopping you from getting images and looking at it to see if you look more like this, very good, or this, all the black between the organs, all the visceral fat. All right, well, that's all for now. And I'll see you next time.